about 6 o'clock. Y'all don't care, we'll come to order.
Me?
We can get our positions here and set.
Yes.
Okay.
Jackie did.
Okay.
All right, call roll, please, ma'am.
Barnes.
Here.
Dent.
Here.
Diorio.
Here.
Estes.
Here.
Casey.
Here.
Pickett.
Here.
Price.
Here.
Schultz.
Here. I guess I'm not here.
Murphy.
Murphy.
That's the reason I didn't say here first.
He was jumping in.
No, I didn't.
Thank y'all very much, appreciate it. If y'all will join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd appreciate it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank y'all very much, appreciate that. Got a pretty full agenda tonight. Let's get through as quick as we can. Reading and correction and disposition of the minutes.
I'll make a motion, we dispense with the reading and accept the minutes as presented.
Got a motion and a second for just dispense. Ready to vote?
Barnes.
Yes.
Dent.
Yes.
Diorio.
Yes.
Estes.
Yes.
Casey.
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Pickett.
Yes.
Price.
Yes.
Schultz.
Thank you very much, appreciate that. Moving on, County Treasurer's Report. Ms. Wanda?
I mailed it out, everybody's got one. I guess the bad news is my sales tax was not as good this month as it was this time last year. I'm hoping that's not a trend that's fixing to set in. We shall see. I've got a few items on revenue that's not where it was this time last year either. Sales tax is still above, but if we get very many checks that are less than last year, we'll finally level out to, hopefully we won't fall below what I have anticipated.
Let's hope.
So I'm kind of anxious to see what happens this month. But other than that, everything's going pretty well. We got our ARP money on Thursday. It hit the bank on Thursday, so I did get that $1.6 million. So we do have it.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions for Ms. Wanda? I'm not hearing any, so we'll move on to County and Circuit Clerk's Report. Ms. Elisa? You're up. Anything to say? Any questions? Any for her or anything?
I don't have this on the agenda, but I needed to kind of bring something
Okay.
to you guys' attention.
All right.
We've been going to some of our county and circuit clerk meetings, and we have a proposal from a company that are very highly rated. I brought some of our books down. These are some of our. One of these is from 1880. One of these are a couple of our marriage books. They have given us a proposal on 9 of our books that are in this kind of condition on getting them redone. And what I'm saying by being redone is they would actually take the books, they index them, they put them on microfilm. That's what the handout is that I gave you. They will index them. If the book comes apart, which ours is pretty good at coming apart, they will actually take the pages and they treat them with they dust them, they treat them with some kind of, it's not a chemical that bleeds through or causes the ink to bleed, but it preserves. And so what they would do is they completely rebind them. If they're not able to be rebound, they will take them and put the pages that are still in some type of good condition, they will put them in sleeves, these plastic sleeves, after they treat them. They treat all the pages first and then they place them in these sleeves and they will, it preserves our books. This is our county's history. And so I'm really concerned about several of the books. Some of them I did not bring down here because if you pick them, they're so brittle that if you pick them up, they're literally falling apart. And so when you have time, if you would come up, I'm not asking for you to technically make a decision tonight. However, I would like, the proposal is for now. So, if you don't mind, come and take a look at some of the pages and how they're fading. Some of the pages are torn from the other ones that like I said, I couldn't bring them down because we don't allow people to take photocopies of them because, I mean, they can take a picture of them, like with their phones or whatever, but anyhow, the proposal in here is for 9 books, and you'll see on page 15, it shows the 9 books. One is a deed book, and then there's a couple of our probate books, and then our probate book 2, and then we have a probate book that's just called an 1880, because we couldn't figure out what actual book it was. And then there's several of the marriage record books that we're asking. The money, from my understanding, could come from the CARES Act money. And so that would be available for us to be able to use for being able to preserve the books. So I just wanted y'all to know about that.
What kind of, did they say how much?
56,000. A little bit over 56,000. But they bind them. There's pictures in there of, I'm sorry I didn't get color pictures for y'all, but they actually take, and if there's any kind of glue on the pages, they carefully get that off. Any tape residue, if there's any kind of, in the margins, how they used to write in the margins on some of the books, they preserve all of that. They make sure they don't hurt anything. They get all the way back. He came in and looked at them. They get all the way back to the binding pieces. So that way, there's not anything lost as far as the information is concerned. And once again, they also index all the books. So they will re-index them, put the indexes in the front, they microfilm it and put all that's available to us. And it's also put out, we'll be able to put it out for public record.
So the microfilm, and that cut down on the handling.
Yes, absolutely. So anyhow, I'd just like for y'all to consider that. I know there's a lot of people that are needing, but this preserves our history, and we need to do something because we're losing it. So I just wanted y'all to be aware of that.
Give you just a little more information on this. Back several years ago, and Lisa was here and in on it, they passed what they call the circuit clerk's cost fund. And we were generating a whole lot of revenue off that. And when that started, these companies went into business, and they got hit in the courthouse, wanting to redo our books. We had the money that we could have done it with, however, the county general money came first, in my opinion. So I diverted half the clerk's fund to the county general instead of doing things like this, and put it to the benefit of the county and the employees. During that time, there was a lot more money being generated than we'd ever been used to, and we got living on it. So, I mean, not that Elisa would do it, but she could keep back all of that money that we're getting now, and instead of giving half of it to county general, do these books. So it's better to take it, if we take it out of the CARES Act money, let them pay for it. Let us keep our general revenue.
Okay. Do we
When
want,
Lisa's talking CARES Act, guys, she's talking Fund 1005. It's marked on my reports as the Coronavirus Relief Fund. It's that,
The first money we
yeah.
first
the
money, not the ARP.
Yeah, not the ARP.
Will the ARP money cover it?
Well, we're not wanting it out of the ARP money because the CARES Act money is more open to
And I'm not sure.
I'm not sure that it can be used for that, out of the ARP money. I don't think it can. I think the CARES Act money is the only money that would be able to be used for it.
But we do have that is available to do it with. So,
And this is a start for us as far, I mean, y'all are welcome to come in any time and look at the condition of some of our books. And so,
This is just 9 books.
This is just 9 books. However, if we could do, you know, this 9 for the proposal that we have, and then maybe do 1 or 2 books a year for, until we get some of them to where we can actually touch them without them falling apart. So,
A long time ago, we quit making copies of the marriage licenses, that the books just opened up and didn't come apart because they were beginning to break. And we got to preserve those marriage licenses.
Okay, do y'all wanna,
So you'd probably have enough money to do a book a year other than have to get it.
I think so.
Probably so.
I'll make a motion we do it.
Could I ask a question on how much money's left in the CARES Act?
Well, when we gonna do this other before we do,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
when we gonna take care of it?
Thank you, thank you.
It's,
It's on one of my fun things here. Thank you.
it's the 1005.
When we gonna take care of the courthouse and the fairground and stuff before we did anything else? Or am I
This is
wrong?
out of the separate.
yeah,
It's out
This
there.
is not out of the ARP money, Chuck.
Yeah.
This is the CARES Act.
Would you read that amount one more time, Wanda?
388, 898, 26, and that was as of May the 31st.
And it stays there until further action is taken.
Yeah, I mean.
It's not going anywhere. That's what that amount's going to remain static until we appropriate it somewhere, right?
Yeah, it's gotta be appropriated by the court for anything.
got a motion,
Second.
got a second?
Mr. Martin had something.
No, okay.
Just a quick question, why is it microfilm? Because everything's digital nowadays, and microfilm will even disintegrate, it gets old and brittle. So if they're doing this, they can take the picture with a digital camera rather than a camera with film in it. So I don't know if that's a misnomer in term, we're just saying microfilm and they mean digital, or do they actually mean microfilm, and how many readers do you have?
Who's going to do that, Pete?
The people that are doing this, and if they're opening up and preserving this stuff, instead of taking a picture on film, which is ancient history nowadays, the camera can be a digital camera rather than, with the same quality, rather than a film camera. Hasselblad has an attachment that goes in their high-end film cameras that does a digital picture instead of, because that's what they're gonna do. They're not gonna scan these, they're gonna photograph them.
It's in.
That's what most of the companies do. So that's why I was wondering, is the term microfiche actually true, or do they mean digital copy? Because if it's digital, then it'll be in your computers, and you can disperse it any way you need. Was my only question. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
She said she double checked it.
She's double checking it.
Yeah.
And we'll get somewhere in our,
Just make your motion to do it the most efficient way possible.
Or we need to table it till we find out the answer to the
Table it for
question.
another month, ain't gonna hurt that much, sure.
Well, at least if they're gonna be able to upload it, it will be upload. You can't upload microfilm.
it's gonna be uploaded.
Well, it would be digital, I agree.
That's all I wanted to say, just mixing up terminology.
It could have been how I said it.
You can find out for us, I guess, can't you?
How long is this offer good?
Look like more than one
90
company.
days. It's good for 90 days.
So can we hold off till next month on it?
Well, on page 12, it says archival digitization. So imaging a document and digitizing a collection creates electronic representation of the original
There it is.
archival
Okay.
record.
That's what I was
This
looking
process is not meant to replace the archival record, but to aid in its preservation.
for. Thank you, that's.
So that should answer the question, I would think.
Well, when you read on further down here,
I just misspoke.
it's got that silver microfilm. It's produced in 16 millimeter form.
On page 12,
16. Back to back.
well, then I guess we do need to get just complete verification, that way we're.
But I agree, I mean, if it's saying that, that's gotta be, if it's up, you know, if they're uploading it or whatever, downloading it or whatever, it's gotta be digital.
Archival imaging, capturing images at a minimum of 300 DPI at 256 gray levels for the highest quality. Images accumulated as group IV bi-tonal images in a standard PDF or TIFF format.
So it has to be digital.
So it's, yeah,
It's gotta be digital.
Yeah.
All right. Any more discussion on that?
Well, I wonder if that's something we need to get another bid on, because of the price of this.
It's over
It's
50,000.
above our limit of, we'd have to get another bid.
Maybe have to publish it for bid.
We do not have to publish it. If y'all want to just wait and let me get a little bit more information for you, I will
Okay.
be happy to do that, so that way everybody's clear on what all's
Okay.
going on and what we're doing, and what we're talking about. And he even said he would be happy to come and speak with you guys about what he's talking
Okay.
about doing.
Sounds good. You
I'll
bet.
be happy to do that too.
All right.
So we're just gonna
We'll
table
table
it
it.
until
Let's do that the next,
the next meeting.
see if
Okay.
it'll come.
Yep.
I will.
All right.
Absolutely.
Any more discussion on that? Anything else for Miss Elisa? If not, we'll move on to old and unfinished business.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. ARP funding for fire departments. All right. Justice
That's our
Dents?
proposal
Okay.
with the revenue.
Is that, everybody got a handout on that?
Yes, to show you, this shows what my proposal is and that it's very doable with the balances and whatever. And
Well, it's pretty plain what they use it for.
that's on
I'm saying it's pretty plain on what they use
yes,
it for. It
on
ain't
the
gonna be
second
abused.
page is, this is just a proposed, it can be changed or written up by our county attorney, but this is just a sample of an agreement between us and the fire departments of how the funds to be used and who has to sign off for it, and they need to furnish a file to the county for our record keeping and audit purposes.
Correct.
Is that the one you're stapled together, or is that the one you're referring to?
This one right here, with the red.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's the one I prepared, it's,
Okay. Looking for my phone.
Well, any discussion, do we need a motion?
We need-
Yeah.
How much total money we got, Wanda? Let me,
Right there, yes.
no, I mean it all. All. That's all of it, including what's
it's
on
all
hand
right
now?
there, and there's the balance
There
to
it is,
do
right
this
there.
proposal.
What about that?
It's all written out there so you can,
Okay, so that's the new money plus what we had on hand? Yeah, there,
Yes.
I see it. Okay.
it's carryover plus our new money. And then we only have one commitment that we have spoken for that's not on here, and I believe she's got a bid tonight on that, and I think that's the timing of the bathroom.
Part of those figures is not on here that Cal's got on our towers.
That's on.
I don't have an exact figure on any of that.
What was it, Cal?
I said, I don't have an exact figure on any of that, because there's a lot of variables. I did have one question about this ARP deal, and one that may be of that interest for me. I know for the county, there's a time frame this money has to be spent. Would that apply to the fire department also?
Once we give you yours.
I didn't know if that's something that
No,
needed to be.
y'all wouldn't have a time frame.
Well, that don't
We have
come
a
in
time
play
frame
on this, does it?
when it's gotta be appropriated and spent. Once we give you yours, it would not be.
I figured that's how it was, but I
I
want
don't
to
need
be
a motion.
clear on it.
Unless we do a
It's
concert,
not motion till
which
after
is
this.
we talked about doing
Right.
concerts.
I wanna read
And
this
if we
first,
do that, there could be a stipulation in
line to
there
line. I
of
wanna look
when,
at it.
and it would give
Well,
us
one of them
more
don't read
oversee
line to
of
line.
monies that we're giving out.
You brought it.
I don't
Well,
read.
by going with the
I wanna see where
833
the money's
deal,
going.
so-
I think I like it, but I don't want to.
If they don't spend it according to the 833 guideline, they'll have to reimburse. I mean, that's the way I see it, ain't you, Kevin? If it's not spent in accordance.
But he wasn't talking for fire departments, he was talking for,
Well, I was talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
As a county, we're spending it.
Yes, we're out.
We're out of it
we-
as soon as we
we've got it out
allocate
there.
it. So I would say that the time frame as far
But
as,
they've got to spend it according to 833.
now they are auditable.
Yes, but that's the reason that their receipts goes in the file and comes back to us, and they have to have a separate bank account for it.
Okay, just show.
Okay, if I'm reading this correctly, this proposal is to give $60,000 to each fire department. That's correct?
Correct.
Okay, at one point, we had discussed the county radio system. We have kicked the can on that thing for 30 years. I'm all for giving money to the fire departments. I've been on one for 35 years. But the radio system is county infrastructure. And we said, when we got this money, we weren't gonna spend it on anything until we fixed county infrastructure. And that affects every fire department in this county. So, back to what they were just talking about the towers and stuff, I think we need to do our due diligence, research what it's gonna take to get our radio system right. And do that before we dole out money anywhere else, because we don't really have a feel for, correct me if I'm wrong, Cal, we don't really have a very good feel for what it's gonna cost to do this radio system.
I called and got some basic numbers, like everything nowadays, that's only good for a short amount of time. He did give me MSRPs, not what he sells them for, and I only talked to one vendor. But the biggest expense from the information I gathered isn't the repeaters. A repeater and say a microwave setup, which would trunk each tower, you're looking at $6,000 to $7,000 each site to do that.
I'm sorry, 6,000 to 7,000 or
Per
6
side.
Yes, per site.
per side, 6,000 to 7,000
And
per side.
also, we have multiple frequencies, like Sheriff's Office has 2 sites, which is a different frequency than say OES. Something that I had considered when we had discussed this before also, and it can become a problem, so we dang sure would have to put the legwork in and see is, we've got 2 or 3 agencies, mine's one of them, we operate on our own frequency. You either have to have a second radio in each apparatus so you can talk on the county channel versus our own channel, or make accommodations for that one way or another. But the repeater part of it, depending on what else they find at the site that would need just normal maintenance, they need upgraded, I don't have any idea on any of that. Some of the repeaters have already been upgraded to a digital capable, so obviously we'd be saving some money there. Because as they've been replaced, pretty much anything you buy right now. Now, it might need tuned up, there might be cost involved to make it fully, but it's not gonna be the full cost, obviously. You're looking at hundreds of dollars instead of thousands to make those work. The biggest cost in this whole deal are the radios themselves. With, me and Mr. Price were talking before the meeting, you know, if you're doing this chunk of money to the fire department, they've got money for radios at that point. But if this is something we're gonna do, we need to make sure and let them know, hey, you need to use this money on radios, you know, if that's how you're gonna look at it, or whatever.
Well, can I say something?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
What if we gave you that amount of money, but the money that you need to do that comes out first, out of that money, and then you divide up. What about that? What about that, Kevin?
I think we've got the money.
I don't think it'll be 300,000 for your repeaters.
Well,
No, I don't think.
And I think we've done just begun on some we give
Well,
out.
instead of guessing, why don't we just do what Brenda said and find out what the costs are, absorb them. Brianna, yours hard to hear as I am, put your hearing aid in on the other side.
I got them both out already.
Okay. Find out what the costs are, not saying, well, I think we got the money. What if we don't? It's irretrievable at
That's
that.
kinda like Bart though.
I like Bart's. I like what Bart
We
said.
we sit down, you know, up front with this deal, and we gotta take care of the county stuff.
Right.
Before we go any further.
Right, and Bart's right now talking about the towers and repeaters and getting them all done.
well, and if we need an auto start generator on one, or whatever we need to make them work like they're supposed to
You
work.
got the list,
I don't. No.
towers, the list of towers
Is
today.
it here somewhere?
I
Yeah.
don't,
Yes.
I mean, I know.
It
where
tells where all
most
they are.
but I'm not, I don't have a punch list as far as.
They're moving one to
Right here.
Grange, Calamine to Sydney and.
No,
Each one of them
no,
got it.
no.
Oh.
That is an option, that is not being done or been discussed, but it is an option to move that one that's not being used to that tower. We have to hire somebody to do that.
Well, I'm just reading now.
Okay, well, I just threw that out there as a potential, something that might cost more money than just the repeaters. I think we need to get solid numbers on all this county infrastructure before we start giving out money anywhere else, because we're gonna overpromise ourselves if we're not careful. And then we're gonna fool around and have to be pulling it out of county general to cover some commitments.
Exactly.
That's just my opinion.
I'm with you.
And this is absolutely nothing against the fire departments. Like I said, I've been on one a long time.
Well, other than the ambulance service, they were the first ones on location to any calls during this whole
That's
virus.
right, they're who we count on. Them and the sheriff's office, which both, and all the city PDs who all
Well,
run
they
on this
getting
radio.
paid some, yeah.
Yeah, but they all run off this same radio system,
Yeah.
is what I'm talking about. That's just my 2 cents.
We don't have to be in a hurry to spend all this. There's it's gonna keep till we can, like you say, get hard numbers for
Well, you
what
need-
we're talking
You
about.
need to know what it's gonna cost.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to y'all.
I think your deal
One,
looks
but I
good,
think
Kevin.
we put some people first. We put from the very first night that we talked about ARP funding, the first thing was fire departments and ambulance service, which this is COVID relief money, and that's what, and I'm 100% that we need to take care of our county things. I think there's plenty of money here at the bottom to take care of $10,000 for each tower. And the balance, so y'all decide what you want to do, but we can keep putting things on and keep finding more places to spend money and not take care of the ones we agreed to take care of the very first month we got the very first check from ARP funding. That's my opinion.
Just some rough numbers for y'all. We have 5 repeater sites for OES.
Yeah.
Okay, so $10,000 a piece or $20,000 a piece, do the math however you want to. It's $20,000 a site, which is way more than anything I just threw at y'all. But that would cover generators or whatever. Okay, that's $100,000. Then you got 2 sites on the sheriff's channel, so $150,000. You could appropriate $200,000. You should be pretty well covered at that point. To cover most anything as far as updating the repeater equipment, trunking it. Then the big, like I said, the biggest cost for my numbers, and I had some fairly accurate numbers because back in 2016, when we had this whole radio system evaluated, I still have all that quote. We had done a count on all the handheld radios and mobile radios in the county. And we actually added probably 10% on top of that, or better, just to make sure we had everything covered. My math on that is about $359,000 for all the radios in the county. That's without any discounts, that's MSRP each. You start ordering 50 and 100 and 200 radios at a time, they give you deep discounts, stuff like that. Obviously, all that would have to be put out for bid or whatnot.
Bart, I'd like to hear your suggestion on how we proceed from here.
Well, that's just my 2 cents. I think this plan Kevin has come up with is a great plan. But I just think we need to make sure there's nothing gonna hit us in the mouth on this radio deal or anything else before we commit to these hard numbers. That's just my 2 cents.
You want to table it?
That's my suggestion. I got a question for the sheriff. Yes, sir. Aren't your dispatch consoles old, some of them?
They are older, but been up to.
Are they digital compatible? I don't think they are.
Probably not.
And those are gonna cost me quite a bit of money, and that's part of this radio system too. I'm just trying to think out of the box here. Unforeseen costs.
And sheriff still has equipment sitting in the old jail that is hooked to the county welder as a backup, instead of moved.
Yeah, instead of an auto start
Instead of
generator.
moved over to 911 and connected to the generator. So every time they lose power, they gotta go outside, get in the maintenance building now, unlock it, start up the welder for their equipment. I mean, 911 equipment needs to be moved to 911. And it's, the last bid we got on that was $10,000. And it's
Just a
done.
move.
Yeah. Connect to the generator. But to have the county road department's welder sitting out there as a backup, for the backup generator to run the 911 equipment it's not a good idea.
So Bart, you would be okay with giving him this amount of money if that radio system came out of this amount of money? And then they divided the
Well, I
rest?
mean, I think we can take it out of that kind of money, but I don't think we allocate the whole wad until we know that number, because it can drastically
We
impact
don't
the
have
fire
to take that
department.
out of the fire department.
Yeah, I'm hoping we don't have to touch
I
these
think we've
numbers.
got enough at the end to take care of it.
But what if I make a motion? Can I get a second
Yep.
from Kevin?
Would you make a motion?
I make a motion, we accept it.
Without addressing the towers.
Well, what Cal has said and what we talked about,
You need to see it.
this money that goes to the fire department, or take that amount of money out to buy their radios. You give it to them and say, hey, listen, you know, you can buy radios with this, but this money's coming to y'all. It's gotta be spent on the 833 guideline.
Well, that's what's in that paper.
I know, and that's what I said.
Well, all that.
So they can buy their radios.
What about where the radio's going to? That's what Bart's talking about.
The towers, yeah.
And merging them and getting it all on one system.
But what he said, the number that he had was buying all the radios in the county. And that was the jacked up
For every
number.
fire department.
You know, when you take that out of the picture, that number comes half. You know, so I think there's enough money here at the end to more than take care of our radio towers.
At the end, you're talking about 314, 960. Huh?
Yep.
What are you gonna do about the 5 items on the agenda?
What did we all agree on? Take care of the county infrastructure first.
Well, this kind of reminds me of Roy Worrell walking into the post office one day and asking David Claxton what he'd do if he won the lottery. And he said, I'd take half the money and spend it on whiskey and women. Roy stood there and looked at him and he said, well, what would you do with the other half? He said, I'd just go waste it. That's the feeling I've got that that's what we're doing with this jackpot that we've got here.
How are we wasting it?
We're putting the cart before the horse and not knowing what our expenditures are going to be to get this communication system, possibly 2 new radio units for the 911 dispatch. Get those, pull those out of this 60,000 per fire department.
What about that number down there at the bottom?
The number down at the bottom will then go toward these other 5 items on the agenda. 4.
Well, that don't have to be done this month, does it?
No, because we don't know how much money we're gonna have.
We told Safe Night Ministries we'd address that tonight. We told them that we would do that.
We told the fire departments we were gonna do that, but
We
we
told
don't
the
know
first
what
one,
it's all
over
about.
6 months ago, we was gonna do it, and we did. Other people-
We've been patiently waiting for the second check because we spent all of it.
Yep, I do.
That's all money.
I have no
I
problem.
still, I would give them more. They save lives.
You don't think first responders do it?
I know one thing, I've heard the first responders called twice this week that no one answered on the scanner. And that's not the first time I've heard it. You hear it day after day if you're returning.
Judge Moore, can I address the court?
Or
Can I address the
enforce it.
Yes, ma'am.
Fire departments, yes, they're an important thing. What I want to know is why is the money evenly split among 12 fire departments? I don't know that one need for one fire department is greater than another fire department. Have you addressed this in this?
I have talked to the fire departments in my district, and they indicated that they wanted everybody to receive the same amount, and I think that's the only fair way to divide up the funding. Every fire department has a huge need. They are underfunded. About the only thing they work on is fundraisers and Act 833 money, which is probably enough to pay their light bill and their a little bit of fuel, and fuel's now $5 a gallon or whatever. Every fire department's underfunded. There's not one fire department on this list that cannot put this to wonderful use to serve our community.
I think Ash Flats Fire Department can stand on its own without a penny.
Then they don't have to accept it.
They don't
can
have to
turn it
accept it, they
down.
can give somebody.
Oh, they'll
They
accept
can,
it.
if there's a fire department out there that doesn't need the money,
Yeah,
and they
nobody's
don't
not
want
gonna
it,
turn
they
it
can
back.
turn it down. That's easy.
Well, you're
But in light of our
Back
economic
early on, when they
situation
first
in the
had
world and in
all
this
of your
county
fire
right
department.
now, I think you need to give it some more thought. That's my personal opinion. I'm kind of with Brianna and Bart on this. The radio system should be took care of, because we don't know what's gonna come down the pipeline. The world is so uncertain right now. So, I'm sure you put a lot into this, Mr. Dinks, and that's to your
Well-
credit, but I just wish the Quorum Court would,
I always,
research it and give it more thought, and, I mean, it's not all gonna go away tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
That's my
Appreciate that. All right.
I'll just put the towers on the agenda, so that's not just the fire department.
We want to table it, do some more research.
Well, Chuck made a motion.
He seconded.
Oh, okay. We got a motion and a second.
I need to know the amount that you want to put on there, on the, I know, but which, is it the 840? What is it?
That's 860.
860. Mhm.
860,000?
Yes.
840.
No.
No, 840 for the 14 and then the 20 for the others.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No,
Partial.
860 total.
Yes.
And who was the second?
Justice Dent.
So are we voting on it?
Ready to
or
vote.
tabling it?
They're wanting to vote on it.
Okay. Barnes,
Abstain because I feel like I'm being pressured here.
Dents,
Yes.
Diorio,
Pass.
Estes,
No.
Hastings,
Abstain.
Murphy,
Yes.
Pickett,
I'm gonna abstain from now, because I mean, I really do believe that he needs to get us a number. The boy back there was looking at him, he needs to get us a number. And I'm all for giving the fire department money,
Me too.
but I think that we need to make sure we don't overspend.
Let's go ahead and finish
All right.
the vote.
Price,
Abstain.
Schultz.
No.
Make a motion, Mark.
A motion we table it until we get hard numbers on all radio equipment in the county,
I second.
because I think it goes hand in hand.
What you're saying is every radio.
No, I'm saying dispatch consoles, towers, generators, everything that has 911 tied to it, let's
But
get
not-
all the numbers
Yeah,
and have it in front of us.
but not actually buying.
No, because theoretically, we can still give the fire department this money like Kevin has proposed,
Yes.
and they can buy the radio.
I don't have a
We'll have
problem.
to see what he.
And who's going
Got a
to
motion and a second.
get those numbers?
Cal.
Cal, you gonna get those numbers for us?
You have to get somebody up here,
I mean, it's not
you'll have
like
to
you're
get
not
somebody
gonna
up here to inspect every tower
Well,
and
they're ready.
all that. But I'm fine with that.
I think.
We ready to vote?
Ready to vote?
All right, let's vote
Now, what are we voting on?
to
Table.
table it.
Until we get hard numbers.
Okay.
Barnes,
Yes.
Vince,
Yes.
Diorio,
Yes.
Estes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Murphy.
Yeah.
Pickett.
Yeah.
Price.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Thank y'all very much. Appreciate it. Moving on to the bathroom tile work. All right, Miss Denise.
We have the bids there in front of you. And I think we had put like $100 and some thousand in to do those bathrooms. And as you can see, it's coming way under that because the bathroom fixtures, I think it was 40, 40, 20, and 20, so it was what, $120,000. And the bathroom fixtures called in was 50 some, and now we've got the tile bids. The only people I could get was out of Batesville, and this would be the tile on the wall. It'd be 3 by 6. This would be the tile on the floor. They're 2 by 2s, but they come in like 1 foot by 1 foot mesh something or others. Each bathroom would have to be closed for about 2 weeks from start to finish. And the bid for the tile is $7,738.14, and the labor is an even $11,000. It really is a good price. So, and McNulty's would come in, because we've already accepted their bid, they pull all the fixtures out of one bathroom. These guys would come in, tear all the tile out, re-tile it, McNulty's would come back in and put the fixtures. We already have the bathroom fixtures sitting out in a container trailer behind the courthouse.
And they do say that set of bathroom.
No, they do one bathroom. We can only close like the women's bathroom, because it'd have to be closed for 2 weeks. And then we'd have the 2 bathrooms down there and the bathroom down here for the women to use. And, no.
What's the problem?
Well, it's not my bathroom, it's his bathroom.
That may be a problem.
And we have criteria to use that bathroom. Okay, now, back to this. So that's the bids. You guys can vote on that, accept it, reject it, whatever you want to do.
We already allocated money for this, didn't we?
Yeah, but you haven't appropriated for me to spend it.
We allocated it in the budget.
Yeah, you
of
proposed
ARP,
it. This was
but we
big, but
haven't,
I make a motion, this is a
we
good
haven't
bid.
approved this bid though.
I make a motion to approve it.
Got a motion. You got a second.
You need to know how much the bid is. We don't have big fees. So it's the carpet corner,
Yes, for the tile for $7,738.14. And Jody Davis for $11,000 for,
hold on a minute. The carpet corner for the tile. Okay. And then the Jody Davis is the other one
The labor.
for the labor.
the installation.
Okay, we can write down that later. I just needed to know.
And then is it still my turn?
Well, we got a,
Motion and a bid.
Okay, vote on that.
That's-
It'll be my turn.
yeah, we got a motion, we got a bid. We need to vote.
Second.
Just, Now we're ready to vote.
Barnes, yes.
Dent,
Yes.
Peoria,
Yes.
Estes,
Yes.
Hastings,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yeah.
Pickett,
Yeah.
Price,
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Thank y'all very much, appreciate that. All right, Ms. Denise, we'll go rebid on the metal soffit and trim.
Last month, I gave you the proposal from John Shane's for the vinyl and the aluminum fascia soffit. There was a question asked if we could get a bid for metal. Well, I called the gentleman, and he did not act like he was the least bit interested in metal. He said it's a whole lot more work, and it would be just as much, if not more money, to do it. And he never gave me a bid on it. So my recommendation is that we go with the bid from him for the aluminum soffit, if he will still honor it, being it's been over 3 months.
Now, you're saying two things. You said vinyl a while ago, and now you're saying aluminum.
He gave us a bid for vinyl and aluminum.
The bid that we had.
He would not give us a bid for metal.
But we don't want vinyl.
I know, that's why I said I think we should accept his bid on the
Aluminum.
aluminum, if he will still honor the bid. And the bid for the aluminum was for $64,000.
Well, why don't we just assume he's gonna honor it and vote on it?
Okay, what if he tells me, well, it's went up
Well, we might can paint it again,
$2,000 or $3,000 over,
you know? It's still paintable.
but in 5 years, you're gonna have to paint it again and paint it again, you know, and you're not gonna have this money available again to do it.
Okay, I need a motion.
I move we accept the bid.
Is that the one from
John Shands, yeah.
And it's
On aluminum.
for,
On the aluminum.
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 and for, what's the price?
60,000?
64.
64,000.
Even?
Even. Yeah.
It was already
And
appropriated
who was
as
the
well.
motion?
Tom, make it.
Tommy. Ms. Justice Estes,
Actually, that's less than what we appropriated.
we need a second?
I'll second.
Second, just pick it.
Y'all ready?
Ready to vote?
Okay. Barnes,
Yes.
Dent,
Yes.
Peoria,
Yes.
Estes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yeah.
Murphy,
Yeah.
Pickett.
Yeah.
Price,
Yes.
Schultz.
Thank y'all very much, appreciate that. She'll get a hold to Mr. Shands tomorrow and see if we can get that ball rolling. All right, next on our agenda is Cave City Food Pantry. Ms. Denise, you wanna hit on that one?
I think the folks are here. that
Okay.
got that in. Is that, and if they would like to get up and
That'd be great.
face, you better than me.
Okay, we run a food pantry in Cave City. We
Ma'am,
serve-
would you come a little closer? I just can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You can go all the way up there if you want.
We operate a food pantry in Cave City. We serve between 300 and 400 people a month, and we operate on donations. We were getting enough donations from the community and the church, and then it just kind of ceased. Last month, we didn't even get to order food. We're working on carryover from last month, you know, so this would just be a blessing for nearly a year for us.
So are you saying that what you're asking for was for a whole year?
It would, well, if it was $500 a month, it wouldn't quite, but with the donations that we get from the church, it would last us. We could stretch it that far and still feed 400 people. You know, not with a tote of food, you know, but with enough to get them through for a couple of weeks.
Do you deliver it to houses, or they have to come get
You
it?
know, they come to our pantry. We're open 2 days a week from 9 to 12, Mondays and Thursdays, and they come to the pantry.
Ms. Thompson, we don't have money, when they don't bring us enough, we take our own money.
Yeah,
You don't prepare meals, you just have like canned
yeah,
goods.
we just, yeah, and get boxed goods.
Boxes.
Yeah, yeah. And on occasion, we have meat donated, that money would not touch meat. That would strictly be pasta and canned vegetables and things of this nature.
You're getting some of this, is this food, you're getting it from the food bank?
We get some donations from them, but we purchase
Yeah, you
from
have
them.
to buy
Yes,
some
yes,
from
yes,
them.
we have to purchase.
I know you are
90%.
feeding a lot of people because you have your own truck. It's a pretty
Yeah,
big truck.
well, it was donated to
so-
us too, I mean,
Yeah.
we're blessed.
How much you asking for? I guess I missed that.
$10,000.
It's this deal right here.
Are you private,
That'd be
non-profit?
another month.
Here it is, Tom.
You got
You have the
that?
application in front of you. Yeah,
Okay.
application.
That's
That
it.
other money.
Wanda, can we give that out of CARES money?
There's that.
Yeah, $10,000, yeah.
You're talking the Corona, like we were
Yeah,
talking
whatever, yeah.
earlier. Yes.
This can come out of either, I guess you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah,
With,
it could come out of either, but yes.
So if we're trying to save money for the radios.
We sure don't care.
I don't think we'll give out CARES money. I think we'll give out.
Okay, whatever. I'm good.
It's been open since 2017.
That's the one we're trying to save
Well,
money.
we have not, you know, had to ask for a major, you know,
That's the one we're trying to save money, we'll figure out, yeah.
donors or, you know, church funds don't donated, but we just, we
Won't
have,
be long getting
we're down to
that.
less than $300.
I'm just asking.
Because the other is free, radio power, we won't
Use it any way you want.
It's restricted. That's the only reason.
I make a motion, we give them the $10,000.
From,
For which fund?
for which jackpot?
Uh,
The whiskey or the women?
Watch your tongue, brother.
We're just gonna do it ourselves.
Hey,
Well, I can't, not the one that I wanted, the other one,
the
ARP.
ARP money.
ARP.
We got a motion. I need.
Second.
Got a second? Got a second now.
Can we have discussion before we
Sure.
vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here. We just said again,
Just go.
we're not spending money out of this COVID money until all the county infrastructure is done. If we bring it out of CARES Act money, that's something different. But if we spend it out of, the funds are all blending in my mind, ARP money, thank you.
Right.
We're going against what we just said, and what we've been saying for months and months and
And I
months and
agree
months.
with Bart.
Move the table. You can do that with a motion on the floor.
Can you change it over to,
CARES Act?
I can amend my motion if y'all want me to.
okay.
Well, that's my only deal, is we just said that, and we've said
CARES
it
Act.
for 6 months now.
The CARES Act original, because I thought we had a little leeway with that money.
So you amended,
I did, amended it to my original motion.
I'll second. If we gotta do it.
Well, Tommy's gonna hold
No,
it a second.
I'm withdrawing my second.
Oh,
Gerald second.
Ready to
You
vote?
got discussion?
now you want.
Any more discussion?
Taking
Oh,
it out of our CARES
Can I-
money.
Okay.
It's discretionary.
Can I ask one question? How many food pantries are we at church?
There are a lot of them. They all pick up over at our church once a month. But there's a lot of need right now. For me personally, I'm afraid it's going to get worse because our current situation.
I think so, I mean,
We have the
But
same
there are a lot of them,
proposal
but I
to
just,
Sunday.
I think,
More money for food bank.
I think I've seen as many as 8 different food banks picking up food. There may be even more. Because some of them, some senior citizens groups pick up food at our loading dock. But see, the one at Cave City is just one of that group. But
I didn't know. That's what I.
there's a lot of need out there.
So, like I say, if you do this, there may be others coming. So, just be prepared.
I would say it's safe to say they're all coming.
Right.
Are y'all ready?
Are we ready? Any more discussion? No other questions? I guess we're ready to vote.
Barnes?
Yes.
Dent?
Abstain.
Peoria?
Yes.
Estes?
Abstain.
Hastings?
Yes.
Murphy?
Yeah.
Pickett,
Yeah.
Price,
Yes.
Schultz.
Abstain.
All right. Thank you all very much.
So it passed, right?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Motion carried. All right, Safe Night Ministries, funds request. Come forward, ladies. Okay.
It's been a while since we met. Do you need an update from us? We have one available if you'd like to hear that.
Y'all need an update? If not,
We've kind of decided to postpone you, I guess you could tell by the
You
discussion.
are?
Huh?
You are?
Well, we just now turned down the food.
Well, we said months ago that we wouldn't spend money until we had all the county infrastructure fixed. So I think we made a promise we can't keep at this point. I mean, once we get our,
Is there money coming out of the ARP now? ARP funds?
We're funding you out of APR money, not CARES Act.
Anything we can do to change your mind? This is our third time here.
So I just want to understand, so you're just tabling it and so we can
Well,
come back? Is that what we're
I
here?
suppose that, I'm just kind of guessing the future here, but Justice Barnes just now made a motion to pay this $10,000 out of CARES money,
Right.
or out of APR money.
Right.
And I second
CARES.
whichever it was,
Right.
the one that we're restricted on.
Right.
And then he changed it to the one we're not restricted on.
Which is the CARES Act.
Therefore, I abstain because I don't touch that money when we can give you out of this one. And the reason I was going to be for the $10,000, it represents 0.00057% of the $1.7 million that we have. That's not discretionary. So I didn't care to chip 10,000 out of that and not risk any harm to anything else. Okay. But your request gets up into the 10%, 9, 8, 9, 10% range. And if they're not going to do 10,000, I can promise you they're not going to do it.
and I don't think it's a no. I think it's just we've got to figure out the county, the promises we've made countywide to county equipment, county infrastructure before it becomes a yes. That would be that's just me speaking. That's not the whole court.
Well, you're speaking what we just did.
We ought to know something for next meeting.
We
Yeah,
all
maybe.
agreed, we all agreed.
Can we hear the update though, just hear it?
Oh, yes, I would love to give that to you, actually.
Okay.
Since we last met, we've had 28 calls and visits to our outreach. And I wanted to share that with you because I think it's really telling about what's going on. 4 of those were true crises, I would say. 2 of those went to shelters that were open, they had to leave the area. 2 chose to stay here. 1 is doing fine, and the other one left her abuser and was brutally beaten. That was in the paper not long ago. I'm sure you probably heard about it. It just shows how much we need a shelter. Of those 4 situations, all 4 of them would have went to a home if we had one.
How many of those were Sharp County residents?
I believe all of these were.
So you got 28 calls, outreach from Sharp County.
There's a lot going on.
I understand.
When we talked about the numbers before, Sharp County had a higher percentage of calls.
I believe that.
It did. We're up to 10 volunteers that do different things now. I think that's really great for us. We wrote for and received a grant from Walmart, from our local Walmart. Y'all talked about grants. I thought that was good. We have secured some education for our police officers. We have a very, very notable speaker coming in July. Her name is Laura Audit. She's responsible for instigating the Laura's cards that police officers read when they go to a domestic violence scene. She's going to come in and do some education about that. She's also class certified, so that's will count for their continuing education. And Aretha wants to tell you about fundraising.
Well, you know, we have a fundraiser coming up this month. We're hoping that we can bank that money and pay our closing costs on the house that you guys are gonna purchase for us. And then we have fundraisers scheduled for October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we're continuing to brainstorm and come up with ideas to support ourselves. So, we are moving forward.
That's great. Thank
So,
you, Les.
Is there, wasn't our county attorney gonna look to see if we could even do that?
He's here.
Yeah, is that possible, Larry, that we can do that?
Yes, I think so. I think maybe a few minutes ago, we entered into a contract with the organization. Yes, I think we've achieved what they want.
Upon your meeting last month, they had looked at a house to put an offer on, but the house was under contract. And so they went ahead and put a backup offer, just, on faith, and that offer was terminated, the first offer. So they are under contract. It was dependent upon the meeting tonight. So, I'm sure that there will be other houses, whichever way it goes, but they are under contract for a house in that same price range of what was talked about. So.
This is the third house we've had, because houses are going like that, of course, the prices are going up also. So, we're having to continuously change.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Come back next month.
Come back next month, sis. All right.
Don't make any plans for August.
I have
New-
a couple more things for ARP.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering if you guys would fund the $1,200 for the paint for the district court fascia and soffit, and for the courthouse bathrooms of $540. So it'll be $1,740 to buy paint. See, I don't know if I have any or if the judge has any authorization to use this money, because it hasn't been appropriated, even though it's just a small amount. But it was in the original plan here to paint the fascia and soffit back there. And we've come up with a price of $1,200. We're gonna have the inmates do it, so it's no labor, it's just the paint. And then $540 for paint for the bathrooms as they get ready to, install the new fixtures. We paid them before so bathrooms will be 100% done. That fascia and soffit will be done, this fascia and soffit will be done.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. That's county infrastructure, so.
Yeah, and we came in so far under on all of our other
Right,
stuff.
and I'm still waiting on hearing, we accepted the bid on the tile, on the flooring for the whole courthouse, and I'm still waiting on hearing when that's coming in, because everything's so backed up. And that was $174,000, whatever that was.
What's the motion, please?
We buy the paint.
You buy the paint.
Yeah, the paint, the bathrooms, and the
They're
district court. Yeah, $1,200. Ain't that right, Mr.
For
Neat?
the
12 for the
patient's office, district court, and
district court.
$540 for the courthouse paint bathrooms.
What, okay, will you say that one more time? I'm sorry.
$1,200 for the fascia and soffit at the district court,
Okay,
and $540 for the courthouse bathrooms.
okay. I'm gonna need can I get
She
a
needs
copy of
a
that
copy of
after we get through, so that way we can.
Well, I don't have a bid, this is just
She
us
just
putting it as.
needs the numbers is all she needs.
I just need something in a minute. Without her reading it right.
You can give her what she,
You ready?
ready.
We ready to vote?
Barnes?
Yes.
Dents?
Yes.
Diorio?
Yes.
Estes?
Yes.
Hastings?
Yes.
Murphy?
Yeah.
Pickett? Price?
Yes.
Schultz?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen, I appreciate that. Moving on to new business, correct? We'll go on, Justice Estes.
I'm just gonna bring up the subject, and I think you need to probably take over the rest, if I understand it.
Okay.
The mayor and the treasurer contacted me and said that the increased traffic at the jail back here are wearing out Court Street and Arnhart Street. And they want some assistance from the county. And I told them, talk to the judge.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. got in touch with the mayor. I thought maybe he'd call me, but he's not yet. But I think with y'all's approval, you know, I think we feel like we need to help them if we can. And if y'all
All right.
give us.
I don't think
Court
they're
Street.
expecting.
Court Street don't look bad. Arnhart,
Oh,
it does. That's,
they wanted Court Street widened 2 feet if possible. I forgot. I thought he was going.
That don't sound like our problem.
Yeah.
But Arnhart, from the intersection to the intersection of Court Street, roughly 39,000.
I don't know how a big truck turns down there.
That's 20 foot, 2-inch overlay. The city of Flat do all of the, if there's any dig outs, any of that, they take care of that.
I'm sure that the city would at least share half that cost. I feel like they would.
The mayor told me they would use their equipment, their time, everything, any work that needed to be done.
But they didn't have the
I'm
money.
glad he's.
Yeah,
They just didn't have no money.
Yeah.
So roughly 39,000 for Arnhart,
Total.
just Arnhart.
Yeah, I mean, total.
That's asphalt. No, that's just that laid asphalt.
Later.
20 foot, 2-inch overlay.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility to take the monies out of the jail maintenance to do that, or is that even an option, since the construction of the jails wasn't
We
screwed
turned our
up?
money back.
County road, wouldn't it?
Well, we turned our money back that we
City
probably
would.
could have used out of the jail on that, couldn't we, Sheriff?
It'd come out of county road, wouldn't it?
That's what I was gonna use it
Yeah,
out
I
of,
think
but
you're right.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you're gonna help them on a road, it'd be coming out of county road department, so.
But Kevin, what I was saying though, before we turned that money back, our construction money back, on our note, we probably could have done that, but why they wait 2 years to decide that we tore up the road?
I don't think it's much tore up as it's narrow.
It just.
20 foot.
It's narrow and it
Nah,
gets.
I didn't go
a lot of-
21, I
lot
went
more
20
traffic,
foot.
and
And you
people
can't
that
widen
live
it
out
too
there in
much for them
apartments and all
pedestals on
that.
each side.
Yeah.
We gotta talk to somebody about that the other day,
But it's just a rough bid on it. Give a little more, a little less, 39,000. And that's the asphalt blade.
and that's all they talked to you about was
1,300.
Arnhart.
No,
Well, he
they want Court
mentioned
Street.
Arnhart with Court, and I just told him, I said, I can kinda see Arnhart, because it looks pretty rough, but Court doesn't look too bad.
On
to me.
Court Street, they want widened by 2 feet.
Right.
They didn't say anything about overlay or anything, they want it widened. But there's no more traffic on that street than what's coming to this jail, other
Well,
than that jail.
is that road standard width, Todd? Court Street?
Court Street is, they're both, you know, normal city streets, anywhere from 16 to 18 foot. 20 foot is more than plenty for a city street.
I wondered about the feasibility of even widening it, because if I'm not mistaken, it's curved up here on this end. And you would just be.
Well,
coming in.
you have,
Yeah.
You'd have a flare.
you have an apron approach, you know, but Arnhart's 1,226, 1,227 foot long to the intersection for the highway.
We'll let them do it to you, this one.
Yes, be fine with me. Judge,
Do what?
You can handle them.
you handle it.
Okay.
Is that all right?
But
So
you're
you don't
talking,
get to
if you
appropriate
did
any
both
money?
of them, you're looking at in the mids to upper 60s to do them both. Court Street ain't 580 foot long.
Okay.
Report to us what you work out with
Okay,
the city.
I'll talk to the mayor and see what I thought maybe he'd get hold of me, but he never did, so I thought, well, must not be too important to him, so. But, you know, I will contact him and see if it's, serious enough that he wants to, and then I'll come back before you and see if y'all wanna spend county money on it, all right? Any more discussion? If not, Ms. Denise is going to speak for Mr. James French.
Well, Mr. French is under the weather, And you guys know we had a building, well, maybe you don't know, we had a building collapse out at the fairgrounds from the wind storm, whatever you wanna call it, wasn't a tornado. They, whatever, we have that building insured for $120,000.
The insurance was $120,000.
We have it insured for $120,000. More than likely, that won't pay to put the building back up. But I talked to the insurance man today, and he says there's a blanket coverage also, and they will try to fit that in. So he said, we need to get some bids on getting that building rebuilt, which is not a problem. But the Fair Board wants to, they have in a proposal here for a rodeo concession and bathrooms. And instead of building a freestanding bathroom and rodeo concessions, they would like to move this building, I don't know if they said 50 feet or 500 feet towards the rodeo arena and put these on the back. Because they'd already have one wall built and they just have to put the other 3 walls. Which means we'd have to get a separate bid for that addition, which isn't a problem, the way I understand it. But they just want to let you know what their thoughts are and what you guys' feelings are, because you had already put in the ARP thing here for the concession and for bathrooms.
So they're gonna try to use concession for the rodeo and the fair.
Correct.
Have it both ways.
Right.
Is
It might just be open on rodeo nights, I don't know, I don't know the details of it all, I'm just sort of the middle person.
Was that building on pad?
No.
No, it was
And-
show arena.
And it's a blessing that it was as old as it was, because if you went out and looked, those posts weren't in the ground this far.
Oh, wow.
And they did not know how it was stood, and they weren't in concrete. And the insurance man said, if it wasn't as old as it was, he said insurance probably wouldn't cover it because it wasn't built right. So,
Justice, or Langston.
So, me and Mr. French was out there discussing that, what their long-term goal, hopes was by incorporating bathrooms and the concession stand on the backside of this building, it being closer towards the rodeo arena, and maybe eliminating that concession stand in the future that's out there, doing the pad across, bleachers all the way across that. What they talked about was lining up the peak that's on the livestock barn now, and the peak of this new building, getting where they're about 10 foot apart, which would allow you to get a trailer up there to unload animals and all that stuff. Basically, you're cheating that barn, line it up on the other barn where the Sullivan Arena was not squared up with that building at all, and get them together where you go from one barn to the other, and it's raining, which I know Murphy's been out there enough times during the show that it rains every time, and people get soaked and kids get soaked. Kind of eliminate some of that.
and no cars can drive through there. It's going to be narrow enough that vehicles, Mr. French says, we do not need vehicles
Stop these
driving
vehicles that
through.
you can back up there and load your animals off that in the barn, and not worry about them getting out and having a rodeo out on the fairground. That was kind of the fine understanding of it, and probably by lining that building up and getting it laid out right, instead of having the bleachers that's in the show arena down there on the far end where you couldn't see half the stuff that's going on, then you'd have enough room on the sides to put it on there and have room to go down and basically have a two-sided concession stand and an all-way entryway to the bathrooms and make it where it was functional for everything. That was the last time that Ben and Mr. French discussed that building. I don't know if it's changed since the last week.
How much did we have?
We have it insured for $120,000.
I know that, but I mean the bathroom and
What did we appropriate?
how much did we have set aside for the bathrooms and the updates already?
I mean, you guys just asked for anything crap, and I don't know the paper.
What are you asking for us to do?
There won't be backup. I got it appropriated.
You got
Then
it.
just put it in for the bill.
Right here.
Got it somewhere,
Concession
we
stand.
gotta find it.
Bathroom.
I need an assistant. Fairgrounds rodeo concession, we have $25,000. Fairground Badger building, we had 25, I don't see where we had bathrooms.
We did.
That was the
What was on?
We're redoing the building.
Yeah.
The bathroom was in the concession.
The bathroom concession,
Oh, that was $25,000, you guys had it
Both of them.
proposed.
Oh,
Total 25. Because you have 25 for the padded building and $25 for a rodeo concession.
yeah. So concession bathroom,
50
it's just
total.
knocking that wall out,
I
wasn't it?
guess I did right.
Well, you
first.
probably,
that,
probably
170.
build that new one for 50 on the side of the
And
show
insurance
barn.
covers some of that.
I'd say you'd be close,
And he then it was like. a
because
box.
everything's right there anyway.
What are you asking us to do?
He just wanted you guys to have, to be updated on, we've had this traumatic collapse and now we're having a fair on July 5th. And the way I understand it, they're gonna use the old livestock barn like we did back in the day when I was there. And they're gonna rebuild that, but it is cleaned up. The county road department has come in and cleaned it up for the material. And when I talked to the insurance man today, he said there might be a stipend type thing for that. And then however you guys chose to use that money, if you wanted to give it back to the fair to use towards their building or whatever. But we'd have to come up with receipts and manpower and all that. The judge was off today when this man called, so he doesn't even know that I've had this conversation, so. But anyway, just bring it up to date. We'll have to get bids and go from there as to what it will cost and what.
Which will be after the fair.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It'll definitely be after the fair, correct.
So we'll have some more information from him next month on this, correct? We don't need no motion or no
Nope.
vote on nothing.
We gotta
Okay,
get bids.
all right, thank you.
Maybe by next month then or something.
Yeah, we'll have to advertise it.
Thank you.
I've got one more new item of business if you're ready for it.
If
Kathy
everybody's,
Nick's going, and Wanda and Denise are going to be in on this. Kathy called me last week with a program to give the employees some relief from this high gas money. We talked about several things and they've boiled it down now to just phase one and something else later. And as I understand it, what y'all would like us to do tonight, Kathy, is authorize payment of the CARES Money Act to
The first six, no,
ARP money
for the first 6 months of 2022
to
in
the,
July.
to the employees, which they've already been granted, we're just holding it.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and pay them in July. And then the
And then
other,
if this economic situation continues, like Joey said, maybe in November, when y'all look at it, maybe instead of the 250,
yeah,
give them
maybe make some
275 or
adjustments.
$3 an hour. You know, I take full responsibility, I started this fight. But I've always believed in taking care of our employees. And several years ago, when it was my office was open 5 days a week, but I let them all have 1 day a week off and they worked 14. So nothing was ever done, and I thought, well, maybe we can do that for the whole courthouse, but that's not feasible.
Kathy had mentioned 410s to me, and I don't think we ought to mess with our office hours. They've been this way since 1967.
I think that half of the premium pay would get them through, help them out a whole lot.
So you're asking for half premium pay now and the other half we had set up for December, the other half then.
Anybody got any problems with that? You know?
Well, we've already appropriated,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we just
yeah,
haven't.
we just haven't done
hadn't-
it.
Need to get Wanda and Lisa to go ahead to make a payment to the employees of what they've already
In July,
in July, yes,
so half now and half,
in December or November.
well, it was scheduled for December, what it was showing.
do we need a motion on that, or?
It's already been appropriated.
Well, we
still got it.
You gotta
So this is gonna
appropriate the
come out of
early
the
payout.
December premium pay?
Oh,
Yes, sir.
you're right.
It's just half of what they would've got in December.
I know we pay the employees
okay. I
half
get it
of
now.
their premium pay in the month of July.
I second the motion.
Any more discussion on that? If not, ready to vote?
I got one the year before.
Barnes,
Yes.
Dent,
Yes.
Peoria,
Yes.
Estes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Pickett.
Yeah.
Price.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Okay, another thing we was considering, if we have a good year, maybe look at bonuses. So that's something to think about at the end of the year, please, if y'all will. Okay?
Does
Now,
this premium pay include the elected officials and the CARES Act?
Was that scheduled, was we scheduled to get?
We've been doing them when we do this before.
Then if we do half of it now and half of it then, or what?
it's up to the court, what y'all want to do.
The elected officials
Oh,
has been getting it, but it comes out of CARES Act, and it's done appropriately.
whatever they want to do.
If we're doing half of it right now, and the other half was it appropriated? It was appropriated. So we do half of it now and half of it on elected officials.
It's my motion
We
to
never
cover
did.
that, another
It's
40
by
hours.
hour, right?
Huh?
Good idea.
Just for the officials only.
You'll have to go through.
They're preparing a motion back here right now for the county officials. So when they get written, I'll just make a motion that county officials be included.
This one, we did already appropriate that money though out of the CARES Act, correct?
It's waiting for a second.
We need a second.
We discussed that in February when we did the other, because between December of last year and February of this year, we found out that elected officials couldn't come out of the ARP money.
Right, right.
And we discussed the CARES Act money, and did it then. So,
That it's done the same way as the employees. If they's off for COVID, they don't get it or whatever, vacation.
I thought it'd be on Zoom.
Okay, we need a second on that, if no more discussion.
I'll second it.
Got a second? Mrs. Barnes? Ready to vote?
Barnes,
Yes.
Dent.
Yes.
Peoria.
yes.
Estes.
Yes.
Hastings.
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Pickett. Price.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Thank y'all very much. Appreciate that. Moving on to resolutions and ordinance. Ordinance 2022-8. Cleanup budget. All right, Justice Schultz, you
Now, let me find it here.
fired up here tonight.
What all we gotta read on this?
Guess I should have had it marked.
You just have to read the title, and I put your number on there this time. And then, I'm sorry, I should have highlighted. You're gonna do the title, the section 1,
Mhm.
then you're gonna go down to section 6.
Yep.
And then you could skip all the way over to the actual budgets themselves. Eight. And then all you have to read on each one is if there's a change.
You said starting on page 8,
Page 5,
page 5.
section 8. Which is, you'll just have to look down through there, each one, and then if the budget remains the same, you don't have to mention it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. We put you some little works in there too, little ditties on why something happened on it.
Appropriation ordinance number 2022-8, section 6, maximum appropriated amounts. I'm going through the,
Oh, sorry,
I'm going through the ones looking for increases or decreases.
sorry.
Grants in aid, item number 0116, increase line item 1000-0116-0017, Tri-County Recycling Grant, $50,763.51. Increase line item 1000-0116-0018, Cemetery Grant.
Justin, all you have to do is read the
Bottom line.
bottom
Okay,
line.
good,
Total budget
good.
is increased, I'm sorry.
Total budget is increased by $55,763.51. Audit insurance deductibles, item number 0118, total budget is increased $2,895.46. Circuit clerk, 04, circuit court, excuse me, 0401, received courtroom security grant in the amount of $13,758.00. Total budget is increased in the amount of $12,848.42.
Extension office, I think, is the next one.
Fairgrounds, 0603. The increase is given them, hold on. The increase is from giving them their 2020 budget in 2021, along with their 2021 budget, $8,000 each year. Total budget is increased $7,998.32. Quorum Court voted to approve this in the May 2021 meeting. Extension Office 0801. Total budget is increased $7,868.95. Quorum Court voted to approve this in the May 21st meeting. Grants and Aid Social Services 0803. Total general budget increased $87,374.66. $70,807.39 was by grant for IRS reimbursements. $15,498.32 was rebudgeting 2020 budget amounts into 2021 budgets. Actual increase $1,068.95. County Road Investment Fund 2001-0200. Total budget is increased $290,602.47. This was to pay off 4 dump trucks. Jail Operation and Maintenance Fund 3017-0418. Total budget is increased $5,169.52. This is revenue from the e-cig / pouches and phone card sales, $7,448.01. County Detention Facility Fund 3018-0418. Total budget is increased $144.20. ADD American Rescue Plan Fund 3046. Total budgets are increased in the amount of $3,666,498.76. This covers all departments' budgets in this fund. Local Law Enforcement Fund 3404-0400. Total budget increased $28,206.50. Proceeds from an auction in the amount of $35,647.85 funded that. Expense account 4004-0418. Total budget is increased $550.00. Jail redemption account 4005-0418. Total budget is increased $255,000.00. Emerson / AEDC 4904-1000. Total budget is increased $8,705,099.75. That's grants and such. Emerson / EDA 20 grant 4905-1000, total budget is increased $2,202,418.72. Same thing.
Excuse me 1 second, Bart, didn't you say 3 million on the,
I could have, I don't know.
on the 366, on the ADD,
Which-
American Rescue Plan Fund? You said 3 million.
I could have,
366,000.
okay, yeah, $366,498.76, sorry.
And you need to go back and catch the Emerson DRA. Its increase is right at the top of page 12 of 300,000.
Okay, I can't see it.
Yeah, the Staples got it covered up.
Emerson/DRA 4903-1000. Total budget is increased $300,000.00. Don't mess up.
Sounds good.
Sound good. Need a motion.
Do it.
Motion
Mark.
to approve.
Second.
Second. Ready to vote?
Barnes,
Yes.
Finn,
Yes.
Diorio,
Yes.
Estes,
Yes.
Hastings,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Hicks, Price,
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
That all we need on that? That's it? Okay. No discussion on that. We'll move on to announcements.
I have two more things.
Oh, okay.
We started the federal audit, so we've been working on that. It's not so much us right now because we did not spend any of the ARP money, but it's because of Emerson. They threw us over from those grants. And our clerk's office needs new air conditioning units at the cost of $13,733. There are 2 units that work off of each other, and one of the 2 is out, so we have one that's cooling the clerk's office right now instead of 2. And it's phase 3 or whatever they have, so it could be a while before they come in, but we do have it on order, anticipating them having no AC. And then we moved that $30,000 into the truck savings. He said to do it twice, like now and then in December. That you wanted $60,000 saved year, which was the truck payments, and we moved the first one June 1st to the savings, or to that fund where it's sitting in savings. And I'm on it.
All right.
And not go use funeral home fans.
Any more announcements? No? All right. Comments, questions from the public? I hear none. I need a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Thank you very much.